Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the first episode of One and Two Ducks.
One and two ducks.
I'm Megan,
And I am Selena.
and welcome to the
Yes. So exciting. So
Hooray.
exciting.
How are you,
Hooray.
Selena? How was your day today?
Oh my gosh. Today was good. I thought I live in Reno, and so I thought that I was acclimating because the other day it was 53 and there was sun, and I was like, this is a nice day. And so today, when I had to go out, it was 45, and I'm like, surely this is a nice day too. I don't need a jacket because I was rocking my Hamilton, right? And so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm too cute for a jacket. I'll be fine. Immediately regretted it, but it
No.
was too late. It was too late. I had to commit to my choice. And so I suffered. I was like, why did I do that?
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Cuteness
There
was not
were
worth it.
there were times when I would live in New York that I'm like, it's fine. It's this degree, no big deal. But then what I don't realize is there's wind,
Yes.
there's shade,
Shade ruins
because
everything.
sunshine's great and you're like, yeah, this is fine. And then you turn a corner and the building puts its giant shadow on you and you're like, I'm frozen solid.
It's true. It's true.
That's
Yes.
awful.
But other than that, it was a pretty normal day. I dealt with my 3 kids and yeah,
A
pretty
true
much
champion. Yes.
to all the mothers.
To all the mothers.
Shout out.
Shout out
Yes.
to all the moms. Doing it every
How are
day.
you, Megan? How are you?
I am good.
Good.
We will get to this on a later episode,
Ooh.
but I have been dealing with the trials and tribulations of Christmas lights. So I put out lights in the front yard outside my mom's house
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago, and they've been doing great. Everybody loves them. People stop and slow down. I mean, they're nothing fancy. They're not like these like crazy, like synchronized with the songs. It's not that. It's merely just like some lights hung up, some reindeer, and a blow up Christmas tree, and that's about it. But it looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Mm-hmm.
festive.
Yes.
However, in the last 2 weeks, I've been peeking outside to see because I have lights on different bushes out in the front because my mom has 7 bushes. So I have lights on all the bushes, and I've been noticing I look out there and they've all been out. And I'm like, well, what's going on? It's so sad because what it is there's part of me that's like, oh, who cares? It's just lights outside. Like no one cares. But then there's another part of me that's like, no, dang it. I want to be right.
Especially in this year. You have to fight for that
Everybody
joy
needs
this
them.
year.
It's true. And I'm like, I feel like I'm
Yes.
letting the neighborhood down.
Goodness,
So
that's
speaking of
hilarious.
2020,
Yes.
so our episode tonight is the top 20 trends of 2020. We both read the same article on Pop Sugar by Victoria Messina. Thank you, Victoria Messina, and thank you, Pop Sugar, for this lovely
Woohoo!
article. However, are you ready for my bombshell that I figured out by the end of the article?
Yes.
This was written pre-pandemic.
Wow. So was it like early
January,
in the year?
maybe?
Well, how is she going to do a top 20 which you don't even know what 2020 is?
Isn't that funny? But guess what? Every time I looked up trends in 20 after I realized that, I was like, oh, trends in 2020. Everything was written and let go into the world in January. It was like predictions of what's going to be.
Predictions, and no one predicted.
No one predicted this, honey.
What 2020 would actually bring, which is obviously everyone talks about this as the Jumanji game. That's really what it brought.
Yep.
Somebody found it. Someone didn't ignore the drums. They didn't learn.
I just
probably a Gen Z who didn't know the
That's what it
actual
is.
movie.
All right, so let's go down this list and see, now that we know that this was written pre-pandemic, pre everyone has to stay at home all the time, pre the world shuts down. Let's
Pre-mask it.
pre-masks, pre
Oh, I'm doing it wrong.
all those things. Cover your nose.
There we go.
There you go. Um, let's go through them and kind of see our
Okay.
thoughts about them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you want to do
Give me
like
number one.
yeah, and okay, great. Number one on the top 20 trends of 2020 is new A-list celebrities, meaning celebrities that we will get from like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and the like.
So to clarify, celebrities that certain people of a certain age from a certain generation may not even know. Because, okay, I always thought growing up that I would never turn out to be that adult, right? I was like, I'm always going to be in the in. I'm always going to be in the know. I'm always going to stay hip and on top of things. And then something happened. And my husband works with teenagers all the time. And he was talking about people where I was like, who?
Do you know what it is for
What?
me? It's the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade every year. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, every now and then, there'd be like some people that I'm like, who's that performing? I've never heard of
Yes.
them. I've never heard this song. And then
Well,
year after year, it became everybody performing. I have
that
no
is very
idea who
true.
they are.
I have no idea. I know more of like the Backyardigans song. I know about the new Blues Clues very well.
Don't we all?
I know this new all the Baby Shark versions, all of them. I could tell you about that, but I cannot tell you. Okay, like one of the people on that list, I do remember reading it, was like Lil Nas K, I do believe.
Okay, no, that's okay. So that is the take my horse to the old town road guy.
I'm not that bad where I do know songs, but I don't know like address. I don't know who sang them. I know songs though. So whenever I first saw that name, Lil Nas K on that thing, I was like, who is that? And so I had to look up this dude, right? And so because I'm over here thinking, is this like, because my generation grew up with like Nas, right? Like, oh, that's not them. Sorry, wrong person. But my generation grew up with like Nas. So I'm over here thinking, is this Lil Nas K like Nas's child? Do you know who Nas is, like the rapper?
I do.
Yes. So I'm thinking, is this like Nas's like nephew?
Well, and you know what's
child?
funny is I'm
Like-
looking at him now that you said this,
Mhm.
and for some odd reason I thought he was older.
I wonder how old he. What, maybe 20s?
He's got really straight teeth,
Early
though.
20s?
Look at those straight teeth.
And he is rocking that outfit.
Yes, he is, honey. Pink looks good on him.
Yes, he is, honey. Yes,
Yes,
it
he
does.
is.
And the rhinestones.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I love it. And he's
But yes,
at the Grammys. Get it.
right? Like I knew that song because my daughter, she's 8, so she's getting into things.
Oh.
But I still didn't know. I didn't know who sang it.
Should we move on to number 2?
Yes, let's move on to number 2. Doo-doo-doo. That was my
I
sound.
liked it. All right.
Oh, I don't know if I can recreate it, but we'll try later.
Number 2 is embracing earthy neutrals. Pantone's 2020 color of the year for
Yes.
the interior of the house is calming neutrals / serene blues.
Yes, and I remember the picture in the article was, I do believe, this one. Yes. So I thought this was always a thing.
Okay.
Is this not always a
Here's
thing?
the thing. If 2020 is the year of calming neutrals, I have been trying for years to get this on board because I envision myself as someone who wants so desperately to be like more bold with my fashion and more like exciting and eccentric. But what ends up happening is I'm like, oh, and here's my navy blue section, and here's my beige section, and here's my gray section. Like, it always ends up happening that way.
Right. Yeah. And I find that colors look best, or either black. Well, right now I'm wearing an N Peggy.
Yes, you are.
You would know what that is if you know.
What that is.
And if you don't know,
Now you know.
well, I didn't tell them, so they don't know.
Oh.
But you
If you
should
don't know, look it up.
Look it up. And Peggy. But yes, but those I actually like yellows and I guess that's
Okay, legit, if we're looking at this picture, the and Peggy is the girl with the weird belt and the shorts. Right? She's looking at
yes.
the other two like, guys, what are we doing? And they're just
She's
like,
like, "What
they're like, we
guys,
got this.
where are we? Daddy said we should not be here."
Angelica's definitely
And
in the
they're
front
like,
and Eliza's on
"Go
the
home."
side.
Oh yes, Angelica is working it in the front for
Sorry
sure.
if those of you that
And
can't see this
Eliza is
picture,
like,
but it's great.
yes, I hope you can. Or if you can't, then just watch our video and just watch this whole thing again. It's fine.
Duh.
You're fine. But yes, that is definitely Eliza, like right under I mean, yes, right under Angelica, not knowing that Angelica's really like, hey, I'm talking to you, man. All right, moving to the third
Number
one.
3,
Yes.
Summer Olympics switch up, which thinking about it now is kind of hilarious because they had to postpone the Summer Olympics.
Yes.
But what they meant by it was that there were 4 new sports making their debut: climbing, karate, skateboarding, and surfing.
Which is
Which
cool.
is a long time coming. I feel like surfing.
It is a long time coming.
Skateboarding, karate.
To be honest, I think they are going to need to start. Now, this is a debate, but after watching a lot of cheerleading documentaries, I think cheerleading needs to get more respect.
Agreed.
I know, but I've watched a lot, and these girls go through a lot of physical damage, a lot of physical work, and I just think it doesn't get its respect because, you know, when you think cheerleaders, you just only think of the rah on the side, but you don't think of their competitions. You don't think about what they actually do.
Would it be summer? Would it be a summer sport, you think?
I think, isn't the competitions around that time, maybe late spring, early summer? So they might as well just push it to summer, and then they could have one of those amazing, like, bring it on routines.
That's true. That'd be cool.
I said, boom, boom, boom.
Well, you know, the Americans would totally take gold every year.
Oh, we would. Imagine all these other countries like, huh?
Like,
what are
wait,
we doing?
what?
Why are we tossing her in the air? Like, maybe that's why they don't do it, because it's not very international.
Maybe
it is. I don't know. I don't know enough research. Maybe I'm sounding a little ignorant.
I know.
Here,
we should look it up and see what cheerleading is like all around the world.
That would be fun. But if
there's any international cheerleaders out there, please let us know.
Let us know.
Tell us
a video. What you do.
Send us a little.
Tell us what you do.
Tell us what you do. Okay, ready for the next one?
Yes. Yep. I'm ready.
Number 4, super important. Gen Z rock the vote.
I am proud of Gen Z.
This year, and this was before the election, so we don't. I don't know the actual numbers of the turnout, but it was supposed to be 1 in 10 eligible voters will be part of Gen Z, and that is 18 to 23.
Yes,
and that's up 4% from the 2016 election. That's pretty massive, and I feel like they really did kind of show up this year.
They did,
which is great.
And Gen Z is no pushovers, and that's what I love about them. You know, they do what they want. You know, they're like, no, we believe in something, and we're gonna do it.
Did you see?
Even if it's eating Tide Pods,
only around, I think it was 60% of the population of America, maybe, came out for this election, which is up from past elections. But when you also think about like only 60%, I don't know if that's including people who are too young to vote. People, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what the statistic is on that, but there's also that thought process of that's really sad. So maybe that's why a lot of people kind of got on the younger generation to be like, you have to do this. Come on, guys. It's up to you.
Right. And I know as a African-American, there has been disappointments over the years. And I think, honestly, sad to say that this whole racial injustice stuff that's been going on has actually awakened us to what's important in our community, because before, I mean, it's been there. This is not new. It's been there. But before, it's been, you know, so massively, you know, in the media and everything, Black people weren't voting. And we forgot that people died for that right.
Yeah.
People were beaten and bloodied, and they worked so hard for their future to be able to just vote. And us not doing it was literally a spit in their face. And I think that awakened us, because more Black voters, especially Black women, few, but more Black voters stepped up to the plate this time, and I couldn't be more proud. And I think it was also with our civil rights guy dying, Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Yes, when Lewis died, I think that also just reminded us, like, he was one of the forefronters. He was one of the ones that were fighting so hard for our vote. So I think that just really, really awakened, especially young Black voters, and like, nah, man, we're going to respect our people, and we're going to do this seemingly small thing, but it meant so much, and
Yeah.
it does mean so much.
Part
So,
of remembering
yeah.
and honoring American history is remembering and honoring those people that fought so bravely
Yes.
to have equal rights to
And women
vote.
too.
Yeah, women and men who fought for equal rights to vote. And not that long ago, the 60s, 70s were not that long ago.
No.
So
it mind boggles me that how close to that era, because as especially those of us who learned of that in school, it seemed like, because it was in history, and you think history is so far away, but it's not. And when you think, oh, this was wait, MLK died in 1968. My mom was 7, or these things were happening up until what?
Yeah.
That's crazy that it was just so close. And that's why, to me, it was kind of mind boggling when I was hearing opposition of, oh, that doesn't exist now. What do you, it's only been skim 30. Like it's not been that long. Most of these people are still alive. So things like that just don't disappear.
It's true.
Unfortunately.
Not in
it's
one
going to take
generation.
a couple more generations.
Certainly.
Yeah. It's going to take a couple more generations. I'm praying and hoping that it's my kids' generations. But even then, it might take another one till we finally come out of that.
The good news is hopefully we are in the right direction. And thank goodness for Gen Z for coming out and voting and realizing that their voice can be heard and not shying away from that moment.
For sure. Number 5.
Plant-based meats become more mainstream. Chain restaurants are getting in on it too, with like Beyond Burger, Impossible Burger. And it just came out, I think, last month that McDonald's is going to have their first meatless burger. So have you ever had an Impossible Burger or Beyond?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have Impossible or Beyond?
We had an Impossible.
Okay. How was it?
It was amazing. It was actually amazing. And because I'm very much a habit type of person, especially when it comes to my food. Like in Jamba Juice, I only ordered one drink. I don't care how many options they had. It was only one. I'm just that type of person. I eat what I eat, and that's it. And so when my husband he was so sneaky, but he actually ordered it and didn't tell me. And he's like, "Oh, I got you a burger." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm eating it like normal. And he's like, "Do you know what's in it?" And I'm like, pickles. I'm just like, cheese. I'm seeing right here. He's like, "That's a meatless burger." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "It's plant-based." What? I'm examining this because I was actually shocked. I couldn't really tell the difference.
Nice.
Once he said it, I finally could barely on the back of my palate taste the slight difference. But it was delicious. And I commend people for being cool.
Yeah. I like it.
Coming up with
I haven't tried a meatless burger, but I've been doing like meatless Mondays, or at least I used to be better about it, and now it's kind of like meatless Thursday or meatless whenever day I remember. But it used to be meatless Mondays, and all day I would like forego having like animal protein. Yes. Sorry.
When you said meatless Monday, I could not stop thinking, do you have like a matching day for everything, like Taco what is Wednesday?
Heck yes. Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, Wagyu beef Wednesday.
It's Thursday. Thoroughbred. Thigh, but it's really Thai, but you want to
chicken thigh Thursday. French fry Friday.
Saturated
spaghetti Saturday. and
Sunday.
Sunday, baby. I'm all for a Sunday. I love a hot fudge sundae. I love it. I love it. I don't have them. I have them like once a year because every now and then I just get that tickle that's like, you need hot fudge. And I'm like, yes, I do. And I go to Dairy Queen
Oh
and
my
I get a hot
gosh.
fudge sundae. And it's the worst thing ever, but I love it. All right. Are you ready for number 6?
Yes, I'm ready for number
I
6.
hate this one.
Oh, I forgot which one it is.
And I'm going to tell you why I hate it. Well, but I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm going to say I hate it.
Strongly dislike with a
Strongly
fiery passion of a
dislike,
thousand suns.
But it also didn't make sense. It didn't make it into 2020. This was a possible
Okay.
trend for 2020, and I don't think it made it. And you'll see
Okay.
why. Because number 6 is the return of the It bag.
Oh, yes, I have a picture of that. That thing is hideous. Okay, let me get it up here.
I think you can say
it-
return of the face mask from 1918.
Dude, again, if you are not watching this video, you have to at some point do it because there's no even
What is
description
that? That looks like a sack
of
lunch.
this bag. It looks like,
A sack lunch.
I mean, like a big one that you got at Trader Joe's.
It also kind of looks like human skin.
It looks like where I put baby's diapers in.
You put baby's diapers in human skin. Doesn't it kind of look like skin?
No, that would be a little
it looks
awkward.
like a skin bag.
It does look a little like skin, but it just looks like it looks like
A skin bag.
what is that dog that's all wrinkly?
Oh, a Shar-Pei.
It looks like a Sharpei. Like if you put the
Aw.
eyes right there.
I love Shar-Peis with the wrinkly
I know.
face.
See, now the bag is cute. If you think of a Sharpei, you can like this bag.
No,
but if you
Shar-Peis are
think
cuter.
of
Ooh,
okay,
number 7.
Ooh.
Now on tap, zero proof drinks.
Oh yes,
Non-alcoholic beverages are making a big deal, and I think another thing that was popular at the beginning of 2020, but less so in the pandemic, just because people couldn't go out. And it's interesting. 2 things.
What?
One, there was a whole thing at the beginning of the pandemic that people were freaking out about sales and alcohol rising, right? But there was part of me that was like, but no one can go to restaurants and have drinks at restaurants anymore. So if they
Right.
can't have that, they're going to get a bottle of wine or something and make their cocktails at home. So I
And
feel
there's
like
a pandemic, so
I feel like that's like this. Does that make, is
Right.
that the sense
Yes.
of it, or is it actually
Mhm.
the same? And then the other thing that I really enjoyed about this moment about zero proof drinks and whatnot is it mentions Vina's Fizz House, which I have been to. It's in Portland, Maine, and they do have delicious non-alcoholic cocktails as well as alcoholic cocktails.
Nice.
But it is an interesting experience when you go to one of those places that specifically does non-alcoholic cocktails, because
That's
they
so
start putting stuff in it and you're like, what are these things? It's like an Impossible Burger, I would assume, that you taste it and
Yeah.
you're like, this doesn't have booze in it. It's incredible. And it's not like
That's
it's not like a
awesome.
lemonade. You know what I mean? Like it's
So
actually
it could work like as a placebo. Like you can be out with your friends and you can be like giving them zero proof, and then they're acting crazy. And they're like, "I'm so drunk," and you're like, "No, you're not." All right.
next. Number 8. Oh gosh. TBT worthy hairstyles such as the mullet
Oh,
or the
I have a
bowl
picture
cut
of that.
making a
I
comeback.
have a picture of that. Oh yes. Let me make sure this is the right
Now, is
one.
this
Okay.
for real? Are people actually getting
I
their hair
mean-
cut like this?
Because if it's true, we have to talk. We're gonna have to talk because
See, I just feel like how do you describe this? This is not a mullet. This is not a bowl cut. I just feel like it's a very heavy bang. I don't feel like she looks bad.
I don't think she looks bad. I actually I'm feeling a Helen Bowen Carter.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, artistic. If she was at LVA, I would immediately say
Art major.
She's an art major. She is feeling herself.
They
She's
were
feeling her
the art
creativity.
majors. I feel like were more brave with their outside
Yes.
appearance than anybody else at school. And I always wanted to be more brave, but I just didn't know how. And then I thought if I
But then-
tried, I would look ridiculous.
We would look ridiculous and we would never get cast in anything.
Hello.
I mean, let's be real.
Hello.
Our teacher, our main theater teacher would have had a conniption.
Mr. Edwards, it washes out.
Oh yes! Shout out to you know who you are if you're listening to this.
All right, ready? Number
Yes.
9.
Yes, number
This
9.
aged well in the 2020 lifespan. Um, Living for live, streaming workouts. Less so streaming,
Yes.
but
Yes.
working out from home.
I don't really like it
Oh,
because
girl.
it leaves me with no excuse.
I have been loving it.
I love it, but then I hate it because now I can't just say, "Oh, I don't have a membership," or
Oh,
"Oh, like I have no excuse for." So whenever I'm like, "Man, I really need to work out. I really need to tone up. I really need to lose a little bit of weight," and then someone is like, "Well, just do it." I can't just go, "I can't." They'd be like, "Yeah, you can, girl. Stream that." No,
so
no, I have
so
to.
I got really into a YouTuber called Christina Girod. Girod. I hope
Ooh,
I'm saying her last name
shout
right.
out.
Shout out. She does cycling, she does spin, and she does strength classes. And during the pandemic, she opened her own spin studio,
Good for
which
her.
is crazy. So not only is she a woman owned business, not only is she a Black owned business, but she also opened this business in a
Go
pandemic.
girl.
And somehow it is still thriving, which is excellent. But I signed up for her like on demand platform, which costs $20 a month. So there is a little bit of like, well, got to get my $20 worth, right? So it is
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
helping. And then she's come out with like little programs to help you, like, you got to meet these goals during this
That's cool.
season, like these 3 weeks, these are your goals. Like you have 3 rides a week, or you have 2 strength classes a week. You know what I mean? And I feel it's gotten me into um, a better, what's it called? Schedule with my workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I would have a gym membership, especially living in the city, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I woke up
Mm-hmm.
late. Oh, I was at that audition so late the other day. I don't like, I'm going to dance tomorrow. I don't really need it. You know what I mean? And I'd walk
Mm-hmm.
right
Mm-hmm.
past the gym on my way home. I'd walk right past it, but I'd be too
Yeah.
exhausted from pounding the pavement all day long. There's no
Yeah.
way I could exercise. So this has been something that it's actually easier for me to work out from home. Um oh,
Speaking of therapy, is that the next
no.
one?
Number 10.
Oh.
A celebrity podcast explosion. You're right.
Oh yeah.
Next. Number 11. Also
Mm-hmm.
something that is a little this year. Cracking down on single-use plastic. So at the beginning of this year, New York had a plastic bag ban. So you can no
Oh
longer use
yes.
plastic bags anymore. It's all paper bags, like back in the day, which I
Mm-hmm.
actually really enjoyed. When I would forget my reusable bag and I'd have the paper bags, I was like, "Oh, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's old school." You know what I mean? And
Little
I can
nostalgia.
like stuff more in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just difficult, obviously, because you can't really hold it. But sometimes you get the ones that have
Mm-hmm.
the handles, which is great. But obviously this year, because of like when restaurants reopen, they're using a lot of single use stuff. Delivery is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
plastic.
A lot.
Um, so I feel like that's kind of been like good and bad. Number
Shout
12,
out.
kids' toys get inclusive. Barbies with disabilities, gender neutral dolls, Braille Uno cards, and Legos. I think this is awesome.
It is about time. Okay. I have to show, I got to find this picture. This has been a long time coming.
Agreed.
For kids of color, really of all ages. But I want to, yes. Sorry. But it's a long time coming. It was very, very difficult. And even up until recently, it's been very difficult to find dolls and toys that look like you.
Mm-hmm.
And at first it's not a big deal. At first you're like, okay, it's just a toy, they're just playing. But and as an actor, what is one of the first fundamental things that you're doing when you're playing? You become the character. Those Barbies were not just Barbies, they were me.
Yeah.
I made character. Yes, I may have named them different, but it was still representing of a piece of me. So here I am playing really heavily into my imagination with these dolls, and I'm representing myself as someone who doesn't look like me. That's, again, okay, cool. We all play different characters that don't look like us, fine. But the problem is that once you start to see that as your identity, or that it needs to be your identity, you start foregoing yourself to become this person. And it's not only for kids of color, but even like because they're inclusive of all now sizes.
Mhm.
When you've played with Barbie, you're like in your mind going, now I have to be skinny,
Right.
you know, or I have to have great boobs, I have to have great
I have
legs
to
and
have
hips and
long
have a
blonde
tiny little
hair
waist.
and
I have to have long blonde hair and blue eyes. So like you start to like mold yourself into that, and it was so difficult. And this image, because I never could ever explain it, like how hard it was to go into a store and not ever find representation.
yeah.
Until I saw this picture, because this picture did a reverse that I feel like encapsulated what I needed to say.
Ooh.
So do you see it? Yes.
Nice.
So this is like,
That's what it feels like.
that's what it feels like. It feels like going into a space and you're like, okay, I want a doll, I want to play. And all you see is the same type of doll that looks the same exact
Mhm.
way. And yes, you'll play with them, you'll have fun. Yes. But it tells you something not only about yourself, but the world around
Yeah.
you. Because this little girl, just look at her. She, even though she's just looking for a doll, but really her world is saying, there's no one here like you. You don't really belong. You're kind of an outsider.
Yeah.
You can play in the game with us, but you don't really belong unless you look like us.
Right.
And that's been the struggle for me for so long. And it really came, you know, when I had kids, especially girls, because girls are even taught like, you're not beautiful unless you look like this, unless you look like the Barbie.
Right.
No man is going to want you unless you look like the Barbie. So you're ugly and you're unwanted. And my daughters, it really came to a head with them because my oldest, I remember she was only 3. She was 3, and she was watching, I think it was Daniel Tiger or something, and she goes, "Mommy, is it okay to be brown?"
Oh.
I was like, "Baby, yes, it's okay to be brown." And she's like, "Oh, because I don't look like any of my friends. And I feel very weird." And I had to sit her down and talk to her like, you're beautiful. Yes, you're different. We're all different. I had to explain that we actually are all different. Even if they're all white people, they're all different white people. They're all
Yeah.
different, you know, like we are people, we're individuals in a collective. And that's what makes us all beautiful. And, you know, whenever this whole social injustice stuff came up, and they were like, people was like saying, "Oh no, let's treat everyone equal." And it's like, yes, we want equal in rights, but, or no, this is the one. This is how it was. Sorry. They would say, "Oh, I don't see color. I don't see color." And that actually annoyed me, because what it says to me when I hear "I don't see color" is actually you don't see me.
Mhm.
Because yes, I do want you to see me as a human being and that we're equal as human beings, but I also want you to see me as who I am. Because that's like going into a field of flowers and saying, "Oh, I don't see color. I just like flowers." The reason why a beautiful bouquet, especially like a beautiful arrangement of bouquet, is so beautiful is because they have different colors, they have different looks, they have different textures, they all have, and that's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
That they're the same, but they're also different. And I feel like if we take away that difference and we try to go like, "Nope, I'm going to be blind to the differences and I'm only going to see you," then we're actually not seeing the person.
Yeah.
We're actually not seeing the beauty of that person. We're just seeing them as an object,
Right.
instead of a 3D being. So yeah, that was my talk. Sorry, I went on another
No,
tangent.
I loved it. It's important. No, it's important.
Yes.
And especially because like because it starts young, right? And instead of having a wall of white dolls in one little corner where there's like 2 black dolls, having it completely like there's enough for everybody, because there is. Because who
There
knows?
is.
There might be a little person that walks in and wants a doll, that wants 3 dolls, and they all look different because they have friends that all look different.
Yes.
And I want
that's
a
beautiful.
doll that looks like all of my friends, right?
Yes.
And you see a doll that is gender neutral, or you
That's
see a doll
beautiful.
that is in a wheelchair. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like
gonna cry.
these are important for like
These are important.
kids to see, and like it's not scary and it's not weird. It's
It's
It's just
reality, and it's the
reality.
world.
You ready for number 13?
Yes.
Sipping on CBD. CBD infused
Oh,
sparkling water, coffee. Um,
you know,
I haven't really got on the CBD train.
I have.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit. I've researched it,
Okay.
and I've learned a lot, because I am that type of person. I'm sorry, I'm that type of person that I can't, in my right mind, deny something I don't know about.
Right.
It literally, I can't understand that. I mean, yes, I could listen to professionals or even real professionals saying what their opinions are, but until I know something for myself and I can decide for myself, I have to do my own research and everything. But so I did do that, and I think that my conclusion is that anything that doesn't harm you and that actually helps not only you but those around, like, I just feel like there's what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
If it helps you not only physically, mentally, spiritually, yes, we want to add other things onto that, but for just the layman, the regular person, if it helps you and if it's not harming
Yeah.
anything,
If
what's
it's a
wrong?
cream that helps soften your skin or helps relax some muscles, or if it's a little thing that you take
Right?
that can help like the inflammation throughout your body, then why not? I haven't
There's
tried
so
it
many.
myself, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Number 14. I made a note for number 15 about 14, but here's number 14.
Okay.
Stepping away from the screen. Um, and it just means blue light glasses are on the rise, and tech-free resorts, meaning that like they don't have Wi-Fi and stuff. So that was kind of, and I literally wrote down, not with Disney Plus's announcements
I was
yesterday.
about to say, not with the Disney Plus and
Not
pandemic. Are you
stepping away
kidding
from
me?
those screens anytime soon. Hello, Star Wars.
Zoom? Hello?
But I do see like
Yeah.
people trying to do like better things of like blue light glasses, limiting their time.
Yes. Yes.
Especially during, and then I said in direct contrast, number 15 is tech makes therapy more accessible.
Now this.
Now this.
So I actually am in therapy. I go to a counselor who I love. And it's I don't now I just go to her because I just, me, I like in person, but it has made it so much more. It's again one of those things that are accessible. These things that used to not be accessible are now accessible, and now more people are able to benefit from it, because you got to think of people who actually need counseling, like really really need counseling, that couldn't have rides or
Or
didn't have a
money.
car or didn't have or money, and now they're able to find a good counselor, and they do it on through technology, and it's still just as good. And I think it's one of the good things that came out of 20 is a lot of this being able to do things remotely. Yes, some might argue that it's making us lazy, but then to me, it also is just opening up opportunity.
Well, and it helps like take away the stigma against it a little bit. Like if it's so accessible, why should I be afraid of it? You know what I mean? Oh, number 16, the rise of DNA travel. With
Oh,
Ancestry,
girl,
23andMe, those are
girl,
influencing people where they
girl.
travel. What? I'm trying to explain what the topic is. So people will get their DNA test from 23andMe, and Ancestry, and then that will then influence how they travel because they want to see lands from where they are from. And yes, Selena, will you please tell the class what you wanted to say?
I did Ancestry DNA.
Oh my God, me too.
Yes, and I was shocked
Were you?
by a couple of
Okay.
things. I was I was open jawed shocked. First thing, my poor dear grandmother. My poor dear grandmother spent all her life, all 73 years. She's gone now. God rest her soul. But all 73 years believing and telling us that we were Blackfoot Indian.
Oh.
So, oh yeah, you guys have Blackfoot Indian in you. That's one thing if anything, besides being black in Africa, that's one of the things I expected, 100% expected. It's not on there. We're not Blackfoot. We got no Indian. We got no Native. Sorry, no Native American. And so that my poor grandma went to her grave believing a lie. But it's okay. One thing I was really shocked about, though, that I didn't expect was I'm a whopping, I know it's not really a whopping, but it's a whopping, I'm a whopping 15% European white.
That is a good amount. That's a good amount. I would have not expected
Yes.
that.
Never would have expected that. I was like, what? And it's Scottish, Irish, and then now because they updated it just a couple weeks ago, 1% of Italian.
Girl, we might be cousins.
Girl, I think we are cousins. No wonder.
Oh,
All right.
number 17.
Next.
Baby products for the brain. So I wrote this down and I looked this up because I was very confused about this.
Yes, you would.
I understand like toys for babies that help development, but I'm like, but how? Right? So I looked it up, and one of the things that they had written there was Love Every. It started as a organic baby food company. And they have teamed with like different doctors, scientists, educators, and just like a team of people who study child development. And they've created things that help babies learn and grow through different stages of their development. And they've figured it out down to the month.
Well, there's no better experience than motherhood. And I think mothers everywhere, especially of mothers of multiple children, can attest to this. When my oldest was born, she's almost 9, I got every product that was out there. You went with me to get some baby shopping.
I remember this. It was such a fun day.
I got so much stuff. So everything that they suggested on their little nursery lists, I got. Literally everything. Down to the wipey warmer, down to the, I mean, everything.
That sounds nice. Can I have one of those?
They are kind of nice. But here's what I learned very quickly. I didn't use 98% of it.
Wow.
98% of it. I didn't use the changing table. I used the bed most of the time. Sometimes if it was messy, I'd use the changing table, but it was not, I would use wherever I was, the floor, the couch, whatever it was. I hardly used the crib because honestly, I was a co-sleeper because it was easy. I was breastfeeding and it was easier to just roll over and put her on there rather than get up and go. But I can still definitely say crib is definitely one of that you should get. I didn't use all those toys that they say, oh, we got it to a science. Yeah. All of my babies like boxes.
There you go.
I entertained my 1-year-old because he wouldn't stop messing with me while I was trying to cook, and I was trying to cook spaghetti. So I just gave him the spaghetti box. He was legit entertained for at least 45 minutes.
I think things like this are really lovely, but I feel like
theory.
It's not a requirement, and I don't think it should be something that should stress people out. Like you have to have this toy because it will make your baby smarter. Like there are certain things you can look into. 18. We kind of covered this a little bit, but for sure in 2020, a streaming revolution.
Oh my gosh. So yes, you can continue.
Are you watching anything super good right now?
No, but I just, because I am very thankful for the streaming revolution because, again, it made things accessible. So accessible. Like one of the greatest things of 2020.
Oh, no. What is it?
Oh, God. Amen. Thank you.
I knew you were going to put this.
Thank you. Because without this, I never would have known the show. Yes, I could have got the soundtrack, but I'm the type of person
you need to see it.
That I need to see it. I can hear the music. I'm like, cool. But if I don't hear, it's like out of context. And yes, the whole thing was, music. So I really could have just listened but it's still out of context in a sense. Because until I saw it living and breathing, I loved it from the moment yes. So I am 100% thankful for streaming services.
Agreed.
That give me the opportunity, who live all the way on the West Coast, that was for show ain't never going to see Hamilton unless it came by some random cast, possibly coming through the Reno Little Theater. That's the only way I would have been able to see it. So I am very thankful. And that's all I have to say.
All right. So then number 19. And I don't know if this is actually true. I think this might have been one of the things they predicted was going to be a trend, but I'm not sure if it actually happened. Disposable resurgence. Searches
Mm-hmm.
searches were up 150% from 2018 of where
Yes.
to buy and develop photos.
Yes, I think it's definitely a Gen Z thing because they didn't experience that as much.
Girl, I love my disposable
So,
camera.
Girl, though,
Click.
but I think
I
they
loved
realize
it.
that I don't think they realize that it's a game of roulette. You don't know if that
Oh.
turned out.
Oh, and it would make me so sad. It would make me so sad when I knew that there was one photo. I'm like, I got a picture of that boy that I like. I
Nope.
got a picture of us together.
And it was his elbow.
And then it was like white. It was like didn't develop. And I was like, no. Okay, ready? And here's the last one. The last one is collagen consumption. Let me try that again.
Unique New York.
Unique New York. Collagen consumption gets creative. Bars, nut butters, marshmallows, popcorn. I am all on the collagen train. And if you don't have to have it as a powder and mix it up and drink it, because that stuff is disgusting. But if I can have it in marshmallows, I'll take it. I've never tried it, but give it to me. I would love to try it.
My ignorance is showing because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Collagen is the thing that makes your skin elastic.
Because I was thinking Botox.
No. Well, that's too. People get collagen injections. But now it's like more popular to take it as a supplement.
What you put in your face?
Well, you take it, but it's like biotin. Have you ever taken biotin or like any kind of vitamin E or something, and it's good for your skin? Collagen is like something that's good for your skin that you take, and it helps your skin not crinkle as much.
Oh, black don't crack, baby.
I know. You don't have nothing to worry about. All right.
So
that was...
I'm just kidding.
That was our 20 trends of 2020. Thank you, Pop Sugar, for that article.
Pop Sugar.
Now, here are some thoughts that I had written down at the end that I want to know what you think about it. Because clearly this was written before the pandemic. So I think the actual, like a couple of them are actual trends.
Yeah.
But I think the true trends of the year were obviously working from home.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big trend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote artistic resourcefulness.
Like what we're doing.
Because the entertainment industry, like so many other industries, have had to completely shut down. The entertainment industry especially. Because even though the restaurant industry keeps kind of having little boop, boop, beep, boops every now and then, entertainment is gone for the time being.
Mm-hmm. Especially live.
That was very depressing and very difficult for many people to come to terms with when that was happening. And so I think seeing other artists make Zoom concerts, make Etsy, like their own Etsy shops, like they're finding other things that they can do. Mm-hmm. They're making podcasts. There's just...
They got lucky.
They're branching out and doing kind of like other things as well as doing things to honor their creativity. And I think that is maybe the biggest trend of 2020 is the resourcefulness, especially with artists. So artistic resourcefulness. So that was it. That was the podcast, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Yes. Or watching.
Thank you for both. We're gonna get going. We hope to see you next week. Where we will discuss another awesome topic.
Yes.
And
if you ever want to hear about something or would love to hear our ramblings.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions for topics.
Let us know.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Listen to us wherever podcasts are heard.
But yes, we all love you. We're excited to be able to talk to you every week, and we will check back at you
next
later.
Week. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Deuces.